Well, welcome out there once again. Always a pleasure to have you out there, and it's always a pleasure to be here. I just want to give you the legal tip of the week, and it's pretty interesting. And this concerns registered land. This one person, the plaintiff, questioned the registered land, basically saying they had what they call a prescriptive easement to cross that land to get to a garage that he owned behind the land. Prescriptive easement is basically something that's not it's not part of the deed. Usually it's used like in a beach area. People have been going down a certain path over time, so they claim a prescriptive easement. Now, what the court said is this is whether the easement in question was granted by deed or acquired by prescription. To hold otherwise would undermine the integrity of the registration system. For over every title would loom the possibility of an undisclosed but valid interest in the land acquired through prescriptive use. Court noted that no easement is noted in the decree or the certificate of the title, and even if an easement by prescription had existed before the registration decree, any such easement did not survive the registration proceedings. So, the plaintiff was not granted the prescriptive easement. Basically, it was not on a registration concerning the land on a deed, and therefore not entitled to a prescriptive easement. So beware about registered land. Quite strict, those things. There's a different system in the registry of deeds. You have one place for the registered land. So if you're looking at a title, make sure you check registered land if it's in there or not. Anyway, I have a guest that I've just recently got to know. Actually, he was running for city school committee. I met him at a function, and I was impressed by his credentials, his vigor, enthusiasm, and lo and behold, he became an elected school committee man. Welcome, Tom Khoury.
Hello, Attorney Urban. Pleasure here.
I was on your face page, I think, today.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's where I found your telephone number.
There you go. It's all out in the open now. It's all public now, Rich.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of people who noted your accomplishments and what you've done. Now, did you work for the school department before?
Yes.
And what did you do in the school department?
Before I got hired as a school teacher in 1986, I was making my life as a professional musician. I was on the road for almost 10 years playing music. Then as my children, I have 4 children.
Where did you play?
I played all over New England.
No,
I'm a piano player, I'm a keyboard player, a singer, and a songwriter.
Piano player. Do you give lessons?
No, I don't give lessons, but I still am very active on the local scene. Still play a lot of I'm playing at the St. James Pub Friday night.
No kidding.
Yeah.
St. James Pub. Now that's kind of a small place.
It's a small place. It rocks at night. It's really awesome.
Keyboard?
Keyboard with my band. I'll be with guitar players and bass players. And
so how many of you?
We have a 5-piece band.
Wow, that's a small place.
Yeah, it is, and we're gonna rock it out. It's gonna be pretty good.
I guess you will.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna do acoustic style there a lot, but I play at the Belmont Club a lot. Oh, yeah. That's a full-on rock and roll show as well.
Yeah.
Just played there a couple of weeks ago and had a great night there. Name of our band is the Mercury Brothers.
Oh, that temperature goes up when you guys play?
You got that right. Absolutely. Temperature goes up right now with all the discussions that we've been having around the city.
Particularly the new school.
Yes, sir.
Proposed new school.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a ballot question March 6th, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, people have been talking about it, but, you know, maybe not as many as you would think. You know more about that than I do.
Okay, well, you asked me what I did. I mean, after my career as a musician, I got appointed to be a social studies teacher at Durfee High School in 1986. I taught for 10 years and received my master's in counseling psychology and became a school adjustment counselor working on behavioral cases for the last 20 years of my career. I spent 30 years working for the Fall River School Department. And as a counselor, I had an opportunity to work with some of the neediest cases in the city, and I cut my teeth on working with the burgeoning gang population of the mid-90s, late 90s, and early 21st century. There was a 10-year period there where gangs were a serious problem in Fall River. We created an organization out of Durfee High School called Peaceful Coalition, and I think a lot of people throughout the community can recognize me and associate me to that organization. It was an awesome organization. We won many community awards for our work with the kids and helping to keep them in school instead of dropping out. We were able to increase graduation rate, and I'm still in touch with many of those kids today. As a matter of fact, Attorney Urban, one of them gave me a call just today. He's living in New York. He was a former kid in our group who is now organizing basketball tournaments and after-school programs, and he's moving back to the area, and we're really hoping to infuse our local schools with a new after-school program around homework mentoring, sports, all that kind of stuff. So
Now,
we're still really active.
As far as the proposed new Durfee High School, is there, have you ever seen any plans of what they propose to do? Architectural plans or otherwise?
Yes, I have. Rich, back in the 40 years ago when they designed the current building, there wasn't a lot of transparency. The community was disassociated from what really was going on there. The architects that they got to build the current Durfee High School were not real school builders.
Who's the architect now?
The architect, couldn't give you their name, but I can tell you that they designed the current Somerset Berkeley High School, and this architectural firm out of Wayland, Mass. Only designs school buildings.
Wayland, Mass.
Wayland, Mass. They only design school buildings. That's what they do. They're specialists. And they're able to design soup to nuts. And I know that the price, a lot of people are very concerned with the price of the new Durfee High School, but as of the city council meeting last night, it was a long marathon of a meeting, they did detail that per square footage, our new school is coming in at a lower per square footage rate than other new schools that are being developed in the Commonwealth, such as Lowell High, Attleboro High. Those are all cities right now that are looking at new high schools.
What do they determine the square footage, cost per square footage?
I think they determine, you know, Rich, I don't have that number with me, but see, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to be mistaken.
Yeah.
But
right now, the
they
cost,
presented it last night in the city council forum, so a lot of people got that information last night.
yeah, price tag now, or lately, is $263.5 million.
Yes.
Now, of course, city owns the land, and there'll be some other things that won't be touched. Now, the Luke Urban Field House.
That's right.
Will remain.
Yes.
Does that have the swimming pool
Yes.
included?
Yes.
Okay, so that won't be touched either.
Exactly, that stays.
Is
The
there any-
swimming pool.
How about the auditorium?
The auditorium is going to stay, but it's not going to be connected or part of the new high school. It's going to become a community arts center concept.
A separate, it should be left as a separate
It's going to
building?
be, it's going to be left as a separate building with its own parking lot. It's going to house Fall River administrative offices.
So
But the,
from Rock Street, they're gonna go up there?
not Rock Street, but what's currently at Cuss and what's currently at Durfee now. There's a lot of administrative offices in the high school, and there's a lot of administrative offices at the old Cuss Middle School on Rock Street. So all of those offices would be relocated to that standalone building, but the auditorium portion would be for use for the entire community.
Well, isn't it already used for the
It
entire
can,
community?
it can be used, yes. It's
they've
going to
had-
be under the auspices of the Fall River Schools, but it's going to be a 1,200-seat auditorium that's just been refurbished, maybe 6 years or so ago, and concert
Oh, so
sound
currently
upgrade.
it can hold 1,200 people.
Yes.
That's really big, yeah.
Yes,
So-
there's going to be an auditorium in the new school, however.
Also.
A downsized auditorium.
Oh, I see, okay. So the current auditorium, like you mentioned, is going to be for the community.
Yes.
Performing arts. We're looking something like the Zeitarian Theater of
You know, I mean,
Bedford.
that's what comes to mind for a lot of people, absolutely.
We have no major theater or performing arts center as it stands now in the city of Fall River.
Well,
Is
we
that
do. We
correct?
have the Narrows Center for the Arts.
Well, not 1,200 people.
Exactly. And so who knows about, you know, my mind goes into partnerships, and what Pat Norton has going on with the Narrows is just simply awesome. And if we could like partner with them, it would be great.
Well, they're for-profit, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, the school is non-profit.
I know, but just think about it. It wouldn't be the school, it would be community. So it could be
Yeah.
for profit.
Yeah, I
With a
guess
fee going to
yeah, a
the
group-
schools
a
just
group-
for up maintenance, you know?
Yeah, a group could want to perform at the
Yeah, I
Durfee.
can't answer all of those questions, but basically that's the idea moving forward.
Now, how much land does the current Durfee High sit on?
Something like 60 plus acres. I believe it's 63 acres.
And of course, the athletic fields are going to be remain redone, or are they,
No, the football field is relatively new.
so that really is not going to be touched?
Not at all. They're going to. It's artificial turf now. The original school was developed on ledge, which created a multi-tier building, which has lent to some of the infrastructure issues within the facility itself. And also, it was also developed on wetlands.
Yeah.
And the old football field and baseball field were on wetlands, and kids were receiving knee injuries, ankle injuries, all kinds of stuff because of the wetlands.
Now, they have a separate,
We don't have wetlands anymore. That football field is now, and the adjacent practice field are artificial turf.
now, is there a separate football field, baseball field, and you have soccer? Is that a separate field, or is there?
Soccer uses the practice field that adjoins the football field.
All right.
They use that, but there's going to be, in the new plan, there's going to be a dedicated soccer field.
Now, what traditionally, is there going to be, well, I shouldn't say traditionally, but is there going to be any, let's say this school gets built, a new one. Is there going to be anything that might be significantly different than the old one?
Yeah, the climate and the environment within the building itself. You could use me as a research subject on this matter. I spent 28 years working inside that building, and it's an environmental nightmare. It holds mold. It has an HVAC system that depends where the windows of the building do not open. So our HVAC system is constantly mold and dust and sinus issues. The building was also designed with flat roofs that have leaked since the building was built. So 40 years of leaking on that roof have caused, and they put rugs on the floor so the wetness got under the rugs. Not only is there mold under the rugs, but now there's mold also within the interior walls.
Well, you know, some people have said, why over the years wasn't there corrective measures taken place?
How do you stay
Why
out
wasn't the roof given a pitch? It's a flat roof.
Yeah.
You know as well as I do. You put up the beams, whether they're wood or steel, and you make a pitch to the roof, so it's not flat anymore.
Yeah, I curse it.
You know, if I had a house, you had a house, and it had a flat roof, and you had constant leaks, and you asked the contractor what to do, he'd probably tell you, look, Tom, let's raise the roof, let's give it a pitch. There are other things that, insofar as the school, people believe that what happens is these public buildings are built, and then maintenance is just not even looked into.
That's not
any
the
longer.
case here. I can promise you There's a perception in the public, in the community, that we have not maintained that building adequately. Rich, I worked there for 28 years. I saw what the custodians and the work crews had to deal with for 28 years. Multi-level land, ledge land, swamp land, real bad issues. The flat roof, let's get back to that. You got air conditioning units and all other kind of units on top of the flat roof. I had no control over the design of that building. I would never design a flat roof, Rich. Today's building codes would disallow a flat roof.
So the new school that's proposed, no flat roof?
No, there's a pitch, and that's being aptly discussed in the public.
Now, the school committee, do you have a specific, I might say, building committee made up of some school committee people?
Mark Coster, our school committee vice chairman, is on that committee. Joe Camara, on the building committee. Joe Camara from the city council is on that building committee. That committee is made up of local citizens and others I know are educators at Durfee. The head of that committee is Michael Costa. He's the head of the social studies department at Durfee. He's been at Durfee for 12 years. 3 years ago, he was Massachusetts Teacher of the Year. He's just a phenomenal educator.
Well, what does he know about construction?
Doesn't he? Just took the reins of that building committee, so that over the past 3.5 years, they've been meeting regularly with the architects and putting a design onto this new proposal.
Now, do they report to the school committee?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Rich, there's been several open meetings, open to the public.
Yeah.
So the entire process has been very transparent.
And of course, how long is it going to take? In other words, people say they're going to build a new Durfee, and they'll ask where. And when they're told at the same location, what is the process of building a new school at the same location of where the old school is, and keeping educational process going at the same time?
They've designed the new facility around the football fields and the existing facility. They're going to connect it to the field house, and so the existing school would be able to stay open thoroughly while the new school is being constructed. And once the new school is moved into, they're going to be able to systematically disassemble and destroy and take apart the old school.
The old school is good for nothing. Diamond High School is really needs space.
Yes.
And I just put this out there as a thought. And they're having expansion problems.
Yeah.
They bring in many more students, or they have more applicants as far as space is concerned.
Yeah.
And they really need additional space. Would there be any thought that maybe some of that old building could be used as space for Diamond?
Yeah, again, I'm not an architect, Rich, but I can tell you it's built on ledge.
Well,
It's in
not
three tiers.
Not the whole building, but, cutting it away. Say, this part is not too good, cut this away, and you end up with some classroom space.
No, because when they take down the old building, it's going to be replaced by tennis courts and soccer fields and parking lots and the like around the new building.
The land underneath the old building is going to be used.
Yeah, it's going to be used.
What you're saying is they need to take it away, the old building.
Not only that, Rich, but the old building, dare I say it again, I really want the public to understand just what an environmental nightmare that old building is. It's not worth keeping. The maintenance costs on that building are exorbitant. It was a faulty design from the get-go. The best thing we can do is just eliminate it now and keep moving forward. That's the way I see it.
So that the vote will take place, and how much time after let's say the vote is approved, how much time after that will construction start?
They explained last night that once the vote is either approved or not, let's say the vote is approved, then they go into their final design phase. So they have what they're in the schematic design phase right now. They've provided a whole schematic of what the project will look like from the inside out.
That's the architects.
The blueprints, the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, what all of that's going to be like. But everything is still subject to change, and they go into the final design phase, and that's when they'll come up with the final design, and there will be open and transparent meetings around that. So the entire public is always welcome to go and weigh in and question, always.
Do you have any idea what the cost to date of the architects is? They've got to be getting paid for doing all this work. Do you have any idea what they're getting paid so far? How much they got paid so far?
You know what? I don't think so, Rich. I think that the whole proposal is based on.
Free. Suppose the people.
I think it's $1 million, but I'm not really sure on that. So I just came on to the school committee, so I'm just kind of orienting to all of that now too. But having worked at Durfee as long as I have, I feel as I'm an expert to morally talk about this project and staying away from all of the small details which I am coming in tune with now from being on the committee. But previously, having worked at Durfee for so long, I am such a strong proponent of a new building.
You know that you were at the South End meeting. And,
yes.
The proponents gave their presentation, and it went on for a long time.
Yes.
Very thorough. Police chief was there, fire chief was there.
Yes.
But someone in the audience requested rebuttal time. So at the next South End meeting in March, the first Thursday of the month, there's going to be a rebuttal.
Yes, there is.
Will you attend that?
Yes, I will.
And do you have any idea what the remarks might be in this rebuttal presentation?
I do, very much like what went on last night at the city council
All right.
meeting.
And tell us what
It's
some of it anyway.
Steve Camara is leading a group in opposition of the school, and he's been organizing over the past couple of weeks to have a group in opposition to vote no on March 6th for the new project.
What's his basic premise?
His premise is similar to many people in the city, and this is a very sensitive point. The point is that Steve would like to have seen the whole project take place in a different location, more centrally located, which is one of the sticky issues of this whole proposal. And in spirit, I agree with that, because as thinking equally for all the children of the city, and especially those in the far south end, it becomes difficult when you know that the school here is located in the northeastern section of our city, but yet kids from South Main Street and Bay Street and have to make their way to school daily. We get that. That's been an issue, but we've also become very professional in providing kids the transportation necessary to come to school and be to school on time, both coming and going.
Let me ask you this. I don't want to interrupt you. But
Yes, go ahead.
Going down that time. What about some sort of a compromise in the sense that maybe the first year freshmen could go to a school not in the north end, but in the south end somewhere, or centrally located?
I can answer that question simply. Sure. In order to build a school, Rich, the monies are reimbursed by Mass School Building Authority.
Wouldn't they
the MSBA.
Would they reimburse the 80% if another building?
If they vet and then approve the project first. This process has been going on with MSBA now for 4 years. Before I retired, I remember seeing those guys in school and evaluating the entire process. Yeah, it's a lengthy time. It's a lengthy term of time.
Pretty well set that it'll be a 4-year school, and having freshmen in a different location is
a key issue for relocating the school to another section of the city. They will not buy the land. The city has to buy the land.
No, I'm just saying the freshman year. You're not having, you know.
If you have a building that can support it, but I don't see that happening. We have science labs and computer labs. We have television studios. We have the gymnasium.
Even for
all
freshmen.
Everybody, yeah, freshmen. My daughter became part of the Fred TV program as a freshman, 4 years worth of being in the Fred TV program, and she went and got a degree in communications as a result of it. So that's the kind of thing that's going on inside the building that's so valuable to their education.
Yeah. All right, so that puts aside any kind of a split high school scenario. Now, the people will vote, and if they reject, it's going to be a majority vote, I imagine.
Yeah, we have to respect our democracy.
So if it's 101 against and it's 104, no school. Now, what would take place if there's a no vote?
Yeah, that.
Continuation, of course.
I'm not prepared to speak about that. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, well,
I've never been around this.
The building won't be torn down. The kids will keep going to school come September in the same building.
It's going to cost $147 million over the term of the city would be responsible itself to pay for the renovation of the current structure.
Well,
it'll cost a lot more money to renovate than to build.
The city,
it's a no-brainer.
The city is on a hook for 20%.
The city's on the hook for more than that. The final numbers came down to 62.38.
62.38.
So the city's on the hook for 38%, and it's been figured out to be
38%.
Yeah, it's been figured
20%.
out to be about between 95 and 98 million dollars total cost for a brand new school, which figures out to be about for a $212,000 valuation on your property would be an extra $115 a year as a debt exclusion to 2.5.
Okay. And I guess, matter of fact, I asked the question at the last South End meeting, if there were any increases in cost.
That came up last night, and Mary Sahadi, the city's accountant, said that the city has an emergency fund prepared to handle any overcosts at this time. And she also raised a very important point by saying that the new schools that were built in the past 10 to 15 years, a lot of them are going to be coming off loan. So that's going to open up a lot more room in the city coffers to handle this project inside. So we may be paying that reimbursement for about 8 years, and then the city's going to be able to assume that.
Am I getting a signal? Okay. Tom, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
It wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard at all. Anytime, Rich. It was a pleasure.
They say I got the fastest half-hour show in town.
That's wonderful. It was great to be here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you out there for watching. Keep aware of the vote that's coming up. And if you want to attend the South End meeting, of course, that's first Thursday of March. There'll be a rebuttal in regards to not having a school. And also, Diamond Educational Foundation is going to have a clam boil. I believe it's March 28th at the Seacon Ski Club. So if you're interested, $30 a ticket. Fantastic time. Clam boil out of this world. All you can eat. All right. See you next week, and thank you for watching.